Hi everyone and welcome to the Truck King YouTube channel. Today is a big day in the world of pickup trucks. That's because Ford just revealed this. Meet the brand new all-electric F-150 Lightning. Yes, after months of teasing, the all-electric F-150 has finally arrived. Although Ford says that this truck won't actually be available to buy until the spring of 2022. Now they have released just about every important bit of information on this truck, so let's dive into it right now. Let's start by talking about the powertrain. So the F-150 Lightning is going to use a dual electric motor setup, one in the front and one in the rear. Now that is going to make every single Lightning full-time four-wheel drive. There are two different battery configurations available. Now Ford hasn't actually said the size of the batteries yet. Right now they're calling it the standard range battery and the extended range battery. So if you go for the standard range, you're going to be getting peak horsepower of 426 and up to 775 pound-feet of torque. Step up to the extended range battery pack and torque stays the same, but the horsepower climbs up to 563. All that power is great, but how far are you actually going to get with it? Well, Ford says that the standard range battery is targeting 230 miles, that's 370 kilometers of range, while if you step up to the extended range battery, you are looking at 300 miles or 483 kilometers. Oh, and if you get that extended range battery, you'll be able to make the jump from 0 to 60 in the mid 4-second range. So with those power numbers in mind, how hard can this F-150 work? Well, if you get the standard range battery, payload maxes out at 2,000 pounds, while towing maxes out at 7,700 pounds. Now, if you step up to the extended range battery, you lose some payload, which maxes out at 1,800 pounds, but you gain some towing, which goes up to a maximum of 10,000 pounds. Now you may have seen our recent news video. Ford is introducing onboard scales into the F-150. So the truck, and this isn't just the electric version, this is all F-150s, you'll be able to actually see how much weight you're putting on the truck in terms of payload and even tongue weight from your trailer. Now that is especially important on the F-150 Lightning because of range. So this truck will actually be able to tell how much weight it has on it, and based on that, it will be able to calculate the range because of course, as you load this thing up, it's going to take away from your range. So Ford has a smart range calculator, and actually it also takes into account things like weather, the grade of the road. If you actually put it into the nav system, it will calculate all those hills for you. So Ford has really worked to give you an accurate range readout regardless of whether you're towing or hauling payload or driving up a mountain. And of course, with any electric vehicle, but especially a pickup truck, that is incredibly important. Ford even adds a range calculation in when you're using Pro Power on board. So this truck does have plugs all over it. It actually offers up to 9.6 kilowatts of power. So you can power your tools at the work site or your TV at the tailgate, whatever you want. But what Ford has done is it will actually monitor your battery usage, and then you'll get a message on your phone that says, hey, if you use more power for your television or your slow cooker, you're not going to be able to make it to the nearest charging station, so you need to stop using this power right now. It's that clever that it won't allow itself to run that battery down and leaving you stranded. So again, Ford was really taking all of those little range things into account here. Pro Power onboard is cool, but there's an even more interesting feature on this F-150 Lightning, and that is the home management system. So if you get this installed, it will allow your truck to power your house. Now, based on 30 kilowatt hours a day, Ford says that this truck will power your house for up to 3 days once it has a fully charged battery. So essentially it's a big battery backup sitting out there in your garage. If you lose power to your house, you can use your F-150. And in the future, Ford says they actually want to be able to use their truck to offset your electricity costs. So if you have peak power times, the house will switch over to truck power for that period of time and then back over to city power once that electricity is cheaper. So there's a lot of really smart ideas going on with this F-150 Lightning. It's not just an electric truck. Ford is also trying to use it as, a mobile power source for, like I said, tools, fun things, or even your house. Now, Ford hasn't said the size of the batteries, but trust me, they are big. And in order to accommodate them in the floor of the truck, Ford also moved to an independent suspension setup all the way around. There is no axle in the back of this truck. The F-150 Lightning uses trailing arms and coil springs back there. That's the first for an F-150 ever, so it's going to be interesting to see how this thing handles once it hits the road. Now we need to look at charging times, and basically the story here is that the F-150 Lightning is going to need overnight to charge up. I'm going to put up the chart right here so you can read it for yourself. Now let's take a closer look at the Frunk, or front trunk. Without an engine up there, you're left with this big cavity, so Ford is using that for storage. Now the Frunk here has a payload capacity of 400 pounds, and it is 14.1 cubic feet. That is 400 liters in capacity. Now it's time to take a look inside the F-150 Lightning, but first let me tell you that the truck is only going to be offered as a crew cab with the short bed. That's a 5.5-foot bed. So the configuration you're seeing here, it's the only configuration you can get. And on the interior, the good news is that the truck didn't lose any space whatsoever, which means you still have rear legroom of 43.6 inches. Now the first thing you can't help but notice here is that massive 15.5-inch touchscreen. Touchscreens keep getting bigger, and Ford has upped the game once again. And right in front of the driver, you also have a 12-inch instrument cluster touchscreen. So yes, this F-150 is seriously high tech. And that massive touchscreen is running the Sync 4A system, which offers all kinds of different connected capability, including Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Amazon Alexa capability, and you can even use your phone as a key through the Ford Pass app. So yes, you can hop in your F-150 with your phone in your pocket, hit the go button and take off. You don't even need a key for this truck anymore. Using that Ford Pass app with this truck is going to be important because you can also monitor your state of charge, your rate of charge, and how much juice your truck is putting out if you've got things plugged into it. So yes, the connected services here are more important than ever. And of course, like most new vehicles, there will be available over-the-air updates. So this truck will be updated into the future. And just because it's a Lightning, you don't lose any of those clever F-150 features like the fold flat work surface or those fold flat seats. So this truck will have 3 different levels of kind of driver aid technology. So the first standard level is just Ford Co-Pilot 360 with things like pre-collision assist with automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring with cross traffic alert, a lane keeping system, a rear view camera of course, and more. Now you can bump up to Ford Co-Pilot 2.0, and that's going to get you intelligent adaptive cruise control with stop and go, lane centering, and speed sign recognition. And then finally, this truck will be available with Ford's Blue Cruise system. That is a fully hands-free system which you can use on certain highways in North America. And one of the interesting things that Ford does is there is a driver-facing camera that is monitoring you to make sure your eyes stay on the road. So you'll only be able to use this system if the vehicle can confirm that you are still paying attention. Now it's time to talk about the pricing. So the F-150 Lightning is going to be available with 3 different trim levels, XLT, Lariat, and Platinum, and there will also be a more basic model meant for fleet sales. In the United States, that base fleet model is going to start with an MSRP of $39,974, but the customer-facing model, which is that XLT, has a starting price of $52,974. Here in Canada, no surprise, the truck is more expensive. The F-150 Lightning for fleets starts at $58,000, and then that consumer-facing XLT will sell for $68,000. And Ford Canada also decided to add in a number of standard features onto its base truck that the US doesn't get. Things like standard 20-inch wheels, rain-sensing wipers, the tailgate work surface, Ford Copilot 360 2.0, and a few other things. So yes, here in Canada, the base truck will come with a whole lot more options already on it than in the US. Well, folks, that is it for this video. Now, I still have some questions about F-150 Lightning. The biggest one in my mind is weight. I want to know what this truck actually weighs, and we're going to ask more questions, and I'm sure we're going to produce more videos for you guys before this truck ever rolls out, because there's just so much to cover here. So if you want to know more about F-150 Lightning, please stay tuned to the channel. And as always, please right now, go below, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this all-electric F-150. Is this the way that pickup trucks should be going, or is Ford making a big mistake? I want to hear your opinion. As always, while you're down there, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member of the channel, and then come right back here to Truck King to see what we are testing next. See ya.